So this is just the live recording for the trades that we did make today. We came to the market a bit late due to office scheduling commitments, and so we came to the market. We of course didn't trade the open. I believe we got here. I think it was about. Wasn't there. Came to the market about somewhere around here. So we had the FOMC news, as we can see here, FOMC announcement. Currently had the Fed Chair Powell's press conference. Before the FOMC, we can see the market was in we had a sell-off at the open. Let's just see what we did here. Time's off on the chart by 1 minute. I need to figure out how to fix that. So off the open, we had the sell-off here. I don't know how many points that was. 85 points of sell-off, which is fairly good volatility here on NQ. I suppose we should just what's going on here? There we go. So I had the sell-off off the open. Prices came down into the 245s here. Prices came down, and pretty much 20 minutes after the open, prices went in a very tight range, very tight channel there for breaking up above the session VWAP, the electronic trading hours VWAP. It wasn't a session VWAP. It's not a New York session, but it's the regular trading hours. No, sorry, the electronic trading hours VWAP. That includes London and Asia, or Europe and Asia. So had the prices head to the upside here, tested this 297.50 or so. From there, broke down, retested the lows. Definitely would have been interesting if I was here. Definitely be interested around there. Retested the lows, more consolidation, fairly tight consolidation here as we waited for the FOMC news and press conference. So a 30-point channel, which is more manageable channel on ES, not ES, on NQ here. So had the move down, the fake move down before the news came out, and I imagine they took out the lows. Yeah, this fake move down, taking out the lows. Yeah, so these lows here broken by a couple of ticks, and a couple of points or so. Broke it there, turned around, news announcement just right there, broke through that 297.25. As we can see, broke the 297.25, headed higher towards 400, pulled all the way back to that 297.25 and tested VWAP as well, this blue line. As we can see, those two acted as a bit of a hammock and a support. Let's just see from that 297, around that 297.50 down to the lows, we're looking at 11 points. So if you consider the amount of volatility off the announcement, you're looking at 132 points, and it only traveled 11 points below that 297.25, further highlighting the significance of that level. From there, we can see we didn't close below the level, held it, closed above it, and rallied, breaking out of the highs there. So broke these highs here, these minor highs, broke these major highs there, which would have been the high of day. Yep, would have been the higher day. So broke the higher day there, and headed higher, went into this consolidation. This is where I came to the market now. Came to the market, the first trade here. Looks like we're going to finally get towards that 77.20 27.25 here. So what it was, I came to the market a bit late, as we said. This candle right here was a CF10R long signal. Now, I decided to use this system, and the only reason I decided to use this system today, even though it's designed for the first hour of the market, is because of the catalyst being FOMC and the Fed Chair Powell's press conference. So with FOMC, we know there's a lot of volatility, it's high impact news, red level news. We know that there's a lot of volatility, a lot of volume that comes in. So it has the characteristics of the open. So because of the characteristics around volume, volatility, and expansion of range, I've decided to use that as justification for using the CF10R, which I primarily use around the open, again to benefit from the volatility, the expansion of range, and the volume. So came in around here, we saw the prices didn't quite hit the target, which was around 84, I think it was 84.50 or something. So as prices came back down towards where I would have got in if I was here, I decided to place an order, went long, prices went up quite a bit in my favor. I trailed my stop up a little bit, probably could have been a bit more aggressive. Thought prices would head towards that 77.25 and eventually towards that 84.50 or so, but prices came back down, stopped me out. We got another signal just here again, a CF10R signal. There we go, going through that 77.50, fantastic. So that level's been tested. So we got this CF10R signal here. Again, we're looking for that move up towards that. I think with this signal, we saw this fall in volatility here as prices consolidated. So the stop on this wasn't quite as big as it was on the initial CF10R signal. And again, was looking for that move up to that 77.25 and eventually around about 90. Now went in, there's this candle here. I wasn't too concerned. I would have expected more volatility on a break of this level considering the catalyst that we had. And what I did see, so I was in a trade. Now when I saw this, I think it's called a hammer, this candle with this fairly large wick closing bearish, I was not a fan, so I decided to be a bit patient, give it some time. So prices came down, eventually went up, and when I saw prices struggling to break out of the highs, I thought nope, and I pretty much trailed my stop to just slightly above break even, and prices came down and stopped me out. There we go, we're seeing that 84.50, so 84.50, that would have been on this trade, so that target would have eventually been hit. This trade, so let's finish off. So this here, so when I saw price came down, prices made a new high here. I decided to, after having these three bearish candles, prices made a new high, decided to go in long, looking for that move to 77.25. Before I could adjust my target, because first I moved my stop, my initial default target was hit, and again over here prices came back, broke above these highs here. Again I went in, adjusting my stop, and the default target was hit, so I decided to end it on the day just there. Didn't want to push my luck, especially as prices seem to be consolidating and not following through from this larger candle. Now if I would have kept this CF10R signal here, holding on for the move up towards that 84, which would have eventually been hit, would have been stopped out, because initially my stop was around, I think it was around 36 or something. It's around the 30s, it wasn't quite at the lows. Even if it was at the lows, as we can see here, prices turned around, took out the lows right there. So even if I had to stop at the lows, would have been stopped out. So that would have been a losing trade here of a fairly decent size. Let's see what the loss would have been. 32 points, which is quite a bit. 32-point loss if I would have held and had the stop at the lows. Fortunately, the market was volatile enough to hit my default targets before I could adjust my target upwards. So that actually worked in my favor. Actually worked in my favor yesterday as well. And that's pretty much it. That pretty much wraps up the trades I took. So these trades over here was trying to get back in, and I'd probably say these two trades, despite the positive outcomes, are bad trades. And the reason they're bad trades is because getting in on the break of the high of this candle is not part of the system. Getting in again on the break of the high of this candle is not part of the system. The system is the CF10R and holding to the target or to the stop, or to a significant level. So even though these two trades worked in my favor, they were not part of the system, so there are bad trades. And that pretty much wraps it up. And finally, this video is almost as long as a live trading video. Let's get the I'm going to get the trade performance up. Just bear with me a second here. So I'm just going to drag over the trade performance, and here's the trade performance. So all of the trades pretty much hit the target. So there is something I can learn from it, and that is these bad trades actually worked out, which, if I wasn't fortunate enough to for those default targets to be hit, would have been stopped out by a fairly significant amount on a pullback. So even though they worked out, they were very dangerous trades, and it's not good to be reinforced for bad behavior, to be honest. So let's look back here. So 100%, 7 total trades, average trade, average winners, no losers. Consecutive winners, they're all winning trades, largest win, so on. Can't really read much into this. And finally, let's see, if we go down to the half an hour, we can see here, what is this? What time would that have been? That would have been what, 2:30 Eastern Standard Time? Let's just have a look. Let's just look. So it would have been 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, and this would have been 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just 1 hour before the market closed. 2:30. Well, I've had okay success at 2:30. It's 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. period. I've had difficulties in the past. So those were the periods that we looked at. And finally, the cumulative net. As we can see, there is a sloping P&L to the upside. And that pretty much wraps up the recap here for we are on recap 38, I believe. I'm going to check that. It is recap 38, so we're pretty close to 50 at the moment. It's recap 38, and it's live stream 32. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.